the next review from the not the London Open. So let's start. Yeah, here we've got some opening, and now white played some unusual move. So black answered, looks fine. Then white played this attachment, black played from the top, and it left some possibilities for white to complicate the situation. Yeah, white actually played quite simple. So like this, black got the corner, white got the outside. White could, I think, try to complicate it anyway while playing something like this. Yeah, now for example playing in this spot so that white will be alive in the corner, black will take some thickness outside. I think it's actually also okay for white. It's not like a very bad situation. I think it's also playable. Yeah, generally I feel like, why not cutting? Simply cutting looks fine. It's just, I think black stays quite well in this position. It's like suddenly after this shape there is this move, this exchange played and this exchange played, and later also this exchange played. And I think it's a very nice result for black. It's like, even though white is able to play here this exchange, it's not possible for black to cut. Now there are some more cutting points. It's difficult for black to cut this way, but even if black answers and now black cuts, let's say white plays here, now with all these exchanges that this was played, I think it's good result for black. It's just big enough. Here I think now it's not necessary for black to make this exchange anyway, white will not connect. Yeah, so I think like this is just simple and it's good for black. This is the game. Black chose the more difficult way. Yeah, and now white tried to simplify it. So this was the result. In the game, white played this move, thinking that it's a center move, I guess. But when white plays there, it's actually difficult for white to get some wall. Now black is able to get a wall in center. All these moves are center for black. So suddenly black gets a wall. Perhaps in the future, white could be interested in giving up this one stone and taking the outside. Might be possible, right? If black cuts, white can just play this way. So black takes, white gets something outside. For now, maybe black would think also about playing this side, this way. Later, if white plays here, yeah, black can also choose some other moves. But the main thing is that white doesn't need to decide now. If white just ignores the situation and white plays elsewhere, maybe something in the center, let's say white just plays something simple, would black take this side? It's anyway not so big, right? Still there are some weaknesses. Still it's possible to do some problems in the future. Let's say when white has a stone, still it's possible to do some problems for black. So I think it's actually okay for white to just play there on the right and let black play something. White decided that white will not take a wall, because for example white could play like this and later like this to get on territory on the fourth line. Even white could think about playing something more fancy, something like this, so that it's possible also to take some outside, or after this kind of moves also possible to do some squeezes, some strange exchanges, also possible later to connect somewhere here. So it's possible actually for white to do some things. It's possible for white to choose. And after all these exchanges are played on the start, there is no choice anymore. White just played, black go to a wall. After this move, black played here in the center, and actually for all this time it was possible for black to play here, and also white was able to cut black. And actually if we are looking on the situation now, when black decided to play this way, is it really worth so much to play in the center? Because let's say white will play some moves, later white will escape, white will be alive with this group. All the time there is this agi, right? All the time it might be possible for white to connect and maybe even attack this black's group. So if at some point white will get some stones around, black is in danger, because white will be able to play this move to connect, and then black's group would be separated. And at the same time, playing here, or here for white, here for black, it's actually not so small. It's many points. Later, if black plays there, white is not able to locally make life, so it might be also possible to do something in the future that there are some chances for attacking, maybe. So overall, I feel like taking the center is not so big now, and instead I would recommend to play something on the right. Actually, it doesn't really matter where exactly black would play, but let's say some simple moves like this, so that black puts some force over these two stones and also this other group, maybe something like this. But I think it's also fine something the other way. Yeah, so that black plays there, and if white plays anything in the center, black can already come back. Like this, white gets this like one move, it looks like a handicap in the center, but black fixes the shape and black doesn't need to worry for all the game about coming back. In the actual game, later all the time black had to answer. Doesn't matter what white played, black had to answer, because if at some point white would be here ahead of black, then when white connects, black might start to have problems with all this group. So even though black got this one move extra in the center, all the time there was this kind of pain that black had to keep in mind that white might play here later and be able to attack black. So this is actually what happened in the game. Now white played this capping move. So white quite easily survived, I think, with this group, quite easily escaped, and black started to attack these two white stones. So now there was some exchange like this, later white played here, yeah, there were some complications. So this exchange from white, like first thing what came to my mind is it really necessary to play there? Because white just gets heavy while playing this exchange. 1, 2, 3, 4, white gets heavy. And also there is less space for these two stones to try to make some eyes on the right. And instead, what about just playing something like this and after connection playing here? It's also possible. Like this, white escapes. In the game, white played a little bit different. White started with this, and I guess I assumed that black will answer, so later this would be sent and white also escapes. I just feel like this exchange, this 1, 2, 3, 4, it's really not necessary. White has less space on the right, white is more heavy in the center. Yeah, so why playing there? Just here and escaping with this group anyway. In the game, black didn't answer. Black played here in the center, yeah, trying to do some problems for white. Okay. Then white played here these moves to make life in the corner, and then black started some attack. Okay, so this was the game. Black started attacking white. Yeah, overall, after all these moves here, now on the right, when white started to play this one, also the question is it really necessary to play there for white? Because if white anyway escapes, like white played this exchange and later connected, if white escapes, maybe this exchange is not necessary. Why is it important like this? White loses a liberty already. White loses this liberty. White could have been thinking about playing from the other side. Like this, not possible anymore. And white has here only one eye on the right. Okay, but let's continue. So white kept everything connected, white was escaping, and now white played from the other side. Okay, black escaped and white took the stone. Actually, this move, this one, what white played, it's quite a big move, because white cuts black and yeah, leaves there some more possibilities for attacking. I was thinking that after this exchange, white would actually try to take a bit more. Like white can do some more harm, in my opinion. So when white plays this way, still white is able to connect, still white is able to kill the stone, still white is able to do some base there on the right. So I think like this, white can control this game a little bit more. And this move is just slow. So now black took some stones in the center. Okay. This was also center. And now black played here. I think this move is not necessary because suddenly white was able to survive in center. After this one, if white simply plays here, white's already alive in center. Why playing this move? Because if white plays this exchange in the game, then black is able to play here, white cannot really cut. Then black kills. So like this, white will need to come back, black is able to connect. Black has a little bit better shape. In the game, black played here. So, okay, this was exchanged. And after black came back at some point, there was still some weakness in black's shape. In the other position, there is basically no weakness. There is a cutting point, but there is geta. So black gets a little bit better shape in this case. So this move, I think, is just not necessary for white. First thing, because later black is able to play here. And second thing, because these 3 stones are not important now. It's not the time to try to take these 3 stones. If white plays something like this, white is more interested in this, what's going on outside, and not just taking 3 stones from group which is alive. If there were black stones somewhere here, that black was connected, white was in danger, if white didn't have their 2 eyes, then these 3 stones are big. So it's big to play this kind of move. But now it's like almost nothing, because white is already alive. It's just points, nothing more. So these 3 stones, yeah, I think just not necessary to play there. Like this, black is just stronger outside. And now I didn't understand, why did black connect like this? White gets this move, and later still is possible to cut. So after this exchange A for B, suddenly black can lose more after white cuts, because white gets already a stone at B. So if white kills these black stones, white kills 1 stone extra. I don't see a reason for black to connect these 3 stones. So this is what actually happened in the game. Black just played elsewhere, and now white doesn't need to answer. This group is alive. White can play somewhere else. So if white plays Tenuki, then if black plays like this to try to kill, white can play here in center and later come back. This group is alive. White lost a move. I feel like it's a handicap here. So suddenly black played in this spot. This is a very big move. Here black has some kind of a wall influence, and now white, while playing this move, completely destroys this black's influence. This is a very big move for white. But now, however, I think white played a very good timing for this cut, because if white didn't play there and white played this, what happened in the game, at some point when white decided to cut, black could play from the bottom. Black could just play on the second line. Black could try to kill all this white's group. So that now, if black plays this way, white might escape. White still has space to escape with these stones. I think this was a good timing for white to play this exchange. White has also played the other exchange, and now white played something there on the left, so that black isn't able to think anymore about trying to kill white's group while playing on the second line. Like this, black just loses center if black kills these 2 stones. And before this exchange, if black was stronger outside, black wouldn't need to play at all. So in the game, after making these exchanges, white thought black is already over-concentrated, so white is giving black as much power as possible, because anyway, black doesn't need this power anymore, and white played on the left just to make some base. So black played somewhere there, white took the corner. After this move, of course, there are some agi in white shape, so this is also what was played in the game. Now white came back to make sure the group is alive. Also, there are some weaknesses in black's shape. Later might be possible to play something like this. White survived here in the corner, and then black started to do some invasion, in the top left. So this is what was played, and here now after this move, white answered. Now instead of coming back, white can play from the other side. White can play like this, and in my opinion it's much bigger to play this move outside, because it's gaining center. Yes, here there is a lot of territory for black. Yes, there are some points for white, but if black cuts, black loses center. Suddenly black loses center. White already destroyed the center, so now white can actually kill this group on the bottom right, because it's, I think, the last big place on the board. And if white comes back, now black is able to play this in center, black is able to kill these stones. Like, black decided to play some exchanges in the center, but black is able to kill 2 white stones on the bottom. And this shape, which was here, this trying to resist, it's really very big. And it was actually same what I was showing here. So that if black answered, now this is the time to try to resist. Cutting so that opponent cannot get this kind of exchange in center. In this situation, in the top right corner, white is able to play this exchange so that black will need to come back in a move which is like black plays just inside own shape, right? If white plays here, if we like reverse the order. So white plays outside, white gets extra stone outside, and black suddenly just connects there where were black stones. So black plays some kind of move for 0, and white gets 1 extra stone of wall. And actually, while kind of connecting, white can also make some use of this move in the future, and if black cuts, then white cannot really use this move in the future. So it's like 1.5 kind of stones in the center for white while making this exchange. It's very big to cut in this kind of position, so that is not possible to play for opponent this Atari. Now it's the same situation. I think just cutting. This is the most important thing in the game. Cutting. What we can learn from this, so that opponent cannot play this exchange in center. It's just very big. Later in the game, black tried to make the center, but at the end it was anyway not so big. Like this, black loses center. Still white has some stones here, so white is able to take away some points. Yeah, and later white killed this group in the bottom right. Instead of playing anything here, black could just kill these two stones and later anyway fight. Still black would get a few points in the center. It's not like black would have 0. Because black has here this wall, there will be some points. It will not be much, but still there will be. I can assume that there will be 10 points for black. If, let's say, white will also get something, but black will get a little bit more. So after deducting what white can get here, maybe with cutting and taking some stones, and that's what black will get here, I think it's like at least 10 points more for black, even if black doesn't play there at all. If black plays in the center, as it happened in the game, it was not so big, this territory. Yeah, this group, I think it's bigger. And all the time later, black needs to come back. White can play some center moves, later white can go inside black's shape. It's quite big. So after this move what black played, if white plays anything here in the center, white can do some damage. I think really, white can play this way, later possible to enter here, possible to enter here, and there is a weakness even here later. Like basically black played this move to protect this weakness, but it still exists. Now just in the next move, after making this exchange, this weakness disappeared, so black started to be very strong, but black anyway wouldn't play in this spot in the next move. So I think it's yeah, really not necessary for white to make this exchange now, because like this white loses possibility to play here in the future and damaging very much this black shape. But it happened, white played here in the game, later some exchanges. Okay, so we started to have endgame, and now even if looking just on this shape, like white played quite simple moves. Now it was like this, answered. Black played here, so white wasn't able to play from the other side. If white plays the same, even if it goes the same, it's super risky for black to let white play this kind of attachment. There are really many weaknesses. Even if black played like this, still there are weaknesses. Still it's possible to do a lot of problems for the opponent. Still it's possible to take something more. Not this timing. Normally playing this kind of moves on the first line should be played just when it's already completely closed, or opponent would play there in the next move. Anyway, black wouldn't play here and it's not completely closed, so just don't play there on the first line. Yeah, later we've got some exchanges, endgame. Like there wasn't that much going on in the endgame. Just yeah, I didn't understand this exchange. Like, yeah, black is not interested to play this core maybe in this moment, but it's still opened. Still possible to have this, still there is this possibility of playing this core. It's just leaving this. If black doesn't want to play core now, just leaving this. It's still possible that some core threats will appear magically, so still it's good to have this kind of option, because it's just 1 point if black plays this exchange, so it doesn't make much sense to play it. If white plays here and later connects, it's basically this difference. Good to have option to play core, especially that black is losing, white won this game, so like here black lost some possibilities. Yeah, so later we've got just simple endgame. White won this game by several points. Okay, thank you for your attention and see you at the next review. See you, bye.